Please make it loud for your next act. It's Colin Smith, everybody!
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I gotta follow tits. Right? Well, I used to have tits. In the last couple of years, I've lost over 60 pounds. I don't applaud for that. I shouldn't have had to wait in the first place. But, to lose the weight, I really had to change how I was thinking. For instance, I used to think that my dryer was making my clothes tight. Turns out it was my refrigerator. I tried multiple diets because I couldn't get enough food with just one. And, I tried intermittent fasting, or as my wife likes to call it, sleeping until noon and missing breakfast. And I thought intermittent fasting would be easy because everywhere you go, there's fast food. And I ate plenty of it. So I guess that was intermittent feasting. Right? So there was one diet that I could stick to. It was a salad diet. It was actually really simple, and that was the beauty of it. It was just vegetables and protein. And I tried different ones, and I found one that I really enjoyed. It was a tomato salad. So I did it different ways, and I found one way I really liked. I would take the tomatoes and I would crush them, and sometimes I'd sprinkle cheese on it, some cured meats, and I liked it warm, especially in the winter. So I put on a big round crouton, and I'd bake it until the cheese melted. And it was amazing. You could even order these at Domino's, right? Okay, I was on a pizza diet, but in my defense, when I went to Domino's, I always asked them to cut the pizza into 6 of 8 pieces because 8's just too many, right? Yeah, thank you. Not everyone can do pizza jokes. It's all in the delivery. So obviously, I didn't lose a lot of weight doing eating pizza, right? I blame the domino effect. So that wasn't working, and so as I said, I changed my thinking. So I had to educate myself a little bit. And so I went online. I went to FatGPT and found out how to lose weight. And you know what it told me? It says eat less and move more. Pretty straightforward, and that's good advice, right? So I start figuring things out. Okay, so if I want to lose a pound of fat, that's 3,500 calories. So what is that? So that's like walking from here to Castleman. All right, you have to walk 56 kilometers. But why would I ever want to walk to Castleman? They don't have a Domino's, right? So, I finally figured things out. I was able to get my nutrition and my activity level in check, and I started to lose weight, doing all sorts of things. Now, not to brag, but I live in a house with 2 washrooms, right? And I always called the washroom the John. Well, I've got 2 kids. When they were younger, they'd always get confused because that's one of the John, and they didn't know which one because there's 2 of them, right? So my oldest one said, okay, we're gonna rename them. That one is the John, and that one is the Jim. And when people started asking me how I was losing weight, I kept telling them, well, every morning, first thing I do is I go to the gym. And more and more people started to notice I was losing weight. I had to buy new clothes, do all sorts of stuff, and everyone kept asking, I think, Glenn, is the mic cutting out?
Seems to be.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. So people were asking me if I was on Ozempic. And I was a little taken aback by that, and I couldn't really understand why people have this fascination with injecting drugs to lose weight. We've had that for decades. It's called heroin, right? Have you ever seen an overweight or obese heroin addict? No. They even have low cholesterol. Everyone is in it to help them. They go see their dealer, the first thing he does is he pulls out the scale, right? So, let me tell you a little bit about how Ozempic works. So you can fact check all of this, but my data is from the US. So, for a month's supply, it's $900 US, okay? And that's if you don't have insurance. And they give you 4 injections. At the end of the month, you don't have enough money to buy food. right? But it's $900 US. Like you could pay someone, you could pay Chris Paul $900 to follow you around and just slap the food out of your hands, and I think it would be just as effective, right? But there's over 15 million Americans on Ozempic or a similar drug right now to lose weight. And the food industry has noticed. Consumption has gone down, and they're trying to reinvent themselves and stay relevant. So I could foresee a day when McDonald's becomes like a safe injection site for Ozempic, right? But that would never fly in Ottawa, because I can see the protests and the glebe now. What about little Brayden? What if he actually saw an obese person walking around? Think of the children. My little Abigail, the other day, she actually found a discarded Timbit. She's both vegan and gluten-free. So it wouldn't fly in the glebe. It might fly around here. There's Domino's down the street, so it works. But all right, so some fun facts. There's 15 million Americans on Ozempic or something like it. There's over 40 million obese American adults. Okay, that's a lot. Now, connect these dots. These are all true facts. You can fact check me. The 10 most obese states are blue states. The 5 least obese states are red states. Okay. Now, multiple research papers have shown an inverse correlation between hip-waist ratio and IQ. So what that means is the fatter you are, the stupider you are. Right? Now, I'm not sure if being fat makes you stupid or being stupid makes you fat. I guess I haven't lost enough weight to figure that one out yet, but I hope to someday. That's my goal. So, a couple more quick facts, and I'll let you go. Hope this helps you on your weight loss journey if that's what you're doing. So, connect the dots between those facts, and there are over 3 billion pizzas sold annually in the United States. Okay? That means on any given day, 13% of Americans are eating pizza. All right? Over 30% of American cheese consumption is in the form of pizza. And US border states import large quantities of Canadian shredded cheese. All right? So here's my plan. Let's stop selling shredded cheese to the Americans. Let's make America great again. All right, that's my time. It's been a slice.